That's good.
But
The Canadian writing on diplomatics.
I know.
Eighth grade. And then bargaining.
It's kind of like
I already said the agenda is.
no, I just talked a little bit about it's heroic. Okay, good evening, everybody. I'm going to call to order the 6 o'clock meeting for Tuesday, August 19th, 2025. Can everybody please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, with liberty and justice for all.
So David Boyle is unable to be here today, so I am leading the meeting. Do we have any public comment? I forgot to look. Nothing? Okay. I don't think we have any scheduled visitors, so thank you for the visitors that are here. Any adjustments to the agenda? Any communications? And the warrant has been circulated. So the first up is approval of the meeting minutes from August 5th, 2025. Do I have a motion?
So moved. Second.
Katrina Delaney and second Sue Bollinger. All in favor?
Aye.
It's unanimous. Thank you. Okay, who is going first?
Mike Murphy's not here, so I don't even know what to do.
Always happy to go first. You want to start?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's like really weird.
Start in the middle.
Start in the middle school, okay.
Changing it up. We have 376 students starting in the fall, 195 seventh graders, 181 eighth graders, with six newly enrolled students coming in this year. Schedules went out last week. Tours are tomorrow starting, so we offer 10-in-1 tours with 3 different days. And then we also do an orientation. So tours are voluntary, but we always get lots and lots of kids. And sometimes we get kids that come to multiple tours, even though it's kind of the same thing. But it's really great for them to be able to like navigate around the building and feel kind of empowered that way. So I have 3 new hires and 1 person coming over from the high school. So Mrs. Sharon Souza is in physical education. She has over 10 years teaching from the Excel Academy in East Boston. She also had a lot of leadership experience in that role as curriculum and athletic director responsibilities. She received her undergraduate degree at UMass Amherst and her master's degree from Spain, and she has lots of years of coaching as well as academic tutoring experience and tenacity. Mr. Hunter Nichols is also in physical education, so my entire department is new. He has taught at Dennis Yarmouth High School. He received his bachelor's and his master's at Bridgewater State. His master's is in strength and conditioning, so he's done some strength and conditioning coaching. And Wendy started when I was starting to hire for the PE position, let me know very earnestly that Bridgewater State has an amazing physical education program, and it's really thoughtful, and not that she would tell me what to do, but she really thought that if I was looking at resumes, it would be important to look at BSU applicants. So we are excited to have
I think
you
Mark
there.
echoes that sentiment, right?
They're the best applicants of them all.
I mean,
No,
mostly, I mean, honestly. And then the third hire is Mrs. Bertha Patel. She is going to teach Spanish 8 this year. She has been teaching at Randolph High for, I think, 11 years. And she has taught at preschool all the way up to university level, like lots and lots of experience. And I don't want to screw this up. She completed her undergraduate degree in Venezuela and her master's degree in the United States. But the funniest story was, she was a really strong candidate. We were really kind of vying for her, and she went to a training for like the official kind of world language, whatever it's called. I'm not going to get the acronym right?
Proficiency.
And she met the Pembroke High School teachers, Dad and Rosa and Jovan, who were just going on and on about the middle school and the high school and what an excellent place it is to work, and like they sealed the deal for us. So she got here, and I got a picture, a selfie of them all, like, so they really sealed the deal. So they had nothing but positive to say about the school system, so that was really nice. And then Maria Pastelli is coming. She's moving over from the high school. The administration at the high school, as well as Megan Cullum, have really talked about what a strong academic support she is to students, so we're really happy to have her moving over to us. And last kind of end of the year, last time I was here, I didn't talk about retirements, and I just wanted to like acknowledge that Wendy Stoddard and Maureen Leonito have served for many, many years as students in the children of Pembroke, and I wish them joy and health in their retirement. So
I'm sure they're thinking of us too.
right now, maybe, you don't know.
They both taught me, so happy retirement. Well,
We have new elective offerings. We're excited to have those kind of roll out. We have 2 classrooms that have joined us from the North River Collaborative, so the 18 to 22-year-olds, so they're a transition program. So they've been with us through the summer. In the summer, the staff will be the same from the summer, but there'll be new staff joining us in the fall. And just a little bit of summer work, because the budget's a little bit tight. So there was some science work, some history work, and some ELA work that was done to get us ready for the year. Our custodians have done an unbelievable job getting the building spick and span. I also want to thank Tracy Smith, the guidance secretary, Alicia Clancy, and Erica Swift for all their work. I mean, it takes a lot of work to get ready for the year. So every day my husband would be like, "Oh, what'd you work on today?" I'd be like, "The schedules, the student schedules." And like, we're weeks and weeks in. He's like, "What'd you work on today?" I'm like, schedules. But then toward the end of the year, I was able to say like schedules, but lunch duty schedules. Like I was able to like change up the conversation. So that was nice. So we are ready and we are excited.
Thank you. Who's up now?
we usually have to save you for last, right? All right, so I'll go. I just have the least cool special projects to share, so I should just get out of the way. I do have one good one though. So we are very excited for the upcoming year at Bryanville. We have 51 kindergartners joining us who have their new welcome to school play date planned for Sunday. And then we have 6 new students joining us. But that number has been changing daily this week. The new student tour is tomorrow, so we look forward to meeting them. I do not really have any major staff changes. We just have a return. Miss Christmas, who is 6th grade here at North, is coming back to Bryanville. She's going to do 6th grade ELA on that team, and we're super excited to have her. I didn't work with her when she was at Bryanville, but I worked with her when we were here together at North. So I know that I'm looking forward to the strength and expertise she can bring to that team. We also continue to have the North Collaborative classrooms. One of the classrooms shifted to the middle school so that we could bring on another younger grade one, because they're seeing an increase in the need for younger classrooms. So now we have 6. They were here this summer, but the custodians are still able to do their thing and make sure everything's ready. Just to speak a little on behalf of all of us, curriculum initiatives that we have coming up this year. It's not too much, but our PLC work last year in science was one of the focus groups, and all the work that was done through that PLC group has focused our work this year, where they're really going to start looking at potential programs for us to use in the future. So this year we have 11 teachers district-wide piloting FOSS science. They're going to do that, share feedback. Other teachers will continue to roll through mystery science and just doing the things that we typically do. And then also through professional development and grade level meetings last year, we were really focusing on writing and what we need to do as a district to kind of refocus and provide our students with a structure and a framework, because our MCAS scores in that area were not awesome. So this year, Simplify Writing came up last year. A few grades tried it. I can tell you, walking down the 1st and 2nd grade hall and seeing teachers that tried it, the writing was off the charts. It was so good and makes you so hopeful. So we have 13 teachers that'll be working on piloting that. And then as far as our building, Jess and Marcus and James and Erica and Tracy are doing and have done everything they need to do to make sure we're ready to go. We've had a ton of teacher traffic, getting their rooms ready, setting things up. It looks great, lots of little helpers, which is my favorite part. And then our big news was that this summer we finally got a new gym roof, which is magical. because I knew we needed one, because everyone always said we need a roof, we need a roof, we need a roof. And I was like, okay. And then every time there was a rain, drizzle, there were buckets in the gym, and you were getting emails like, we need a roof that's leaking. And I'm like, yep, I've got it, we're on it, we're gonna get it done. So they were very excited. But there was one time when a student was looking on Google Maps at our school, and you could see it from the aerial view. I was like, oh, yeah, that roof really does look different. So I'm very excited to see what it looks like now from the Google Map view. Yeah, so we're excited and we're ready and can't wait.
Perfect. So at Hobbamock, we are welcoming 56 kindergarten students. We had our kindergarten play date this past weekend, and it seemed every family that was there was a sibling. So I went back and looked at our list, and we have, of those 56 kindergarten students, 28 of them are siblings, younger siblings, so just about half of our number.
Wow.
It was crazy, and they almost all are in second grade. I don't know what the K-2 split is, but it was fun. It was funny just to kind of see that work out. We have 7 new students that are joining us in grades 1 through 6, and our enrollment number is at 392 this year, so right around the same as what it's been for the last few years. We do have a few changes staff-wise. So as I mentioned, at the end of the year, Mrs. Vilagi, a paraprofessional with us for 29 years, has retired, and we had 2 paraprofessionals resign over the summer. So we have hired a new paraprofessional, Catherine Daniels, who is a Hobbamock mom and served in a long-term sub role last year, and she's now joining us full-time. And then 2 transfers, Penny Wynn from North and Julie Watts from Bryanttville. So they'll both be joining us over at Hobbamock. We have hired a new assistant principal / team chair, Kristen Schuley, who's no stranger to Pembroke. She taught here for a long time, left to get some administrative experience, and now has returned to Hobbamock, so we're excited to have her on board. We also have had some changes in kindergarten, so we hired Brenna Sherlock, who is a kindergarten teacher coming from Whitman. She spent some time at a private school, Sacred Heart, and is also taught in Whitman, and so she's joining the kindergarten team. We also had another kindergarten teacher resign over the last week, so we are currently holding interviews for that position, but are hopeful we'll have someone in place by mid-next week to start the school year. As far as summer projects, we hosted extended school year for Pembroke students, pre-kindergarten through grade 7. That wrapped up at the beginning of August. We've also been hosting our district-wide YMCA program. That is still going on. They go through the whole summer, so it's a little bit tricky for our custodians to get the building clean with 50 kids running around, but they seem to make it work. And they're ready to go custodial-wise for the building. And then we've had a few bigger projects at Hobbamock for this summer. So we had the removal of a lot of carpeting in our building. So our library, our large instruction room, and a bunch of interior offices all got their carpeting removed and new tile put down in those settings. It looks crazy. The library looks so big, I don't even know what to do in there right now. So we got some big rugs, carpet squares, seating. The custodians were pulling some furniture out of the old computer lab today, and they're like, what are we doing in this space? And I was like, I don't know, find furniture. So it's a really big space that we're filling, but we're sure that the kids will love having that extra space in there. And then our PA system, our system that controls our announcements, is being replaced tomorrow. So we're excited that will be up and running for the new year, and our playground demolition begins tomorrow as well. So we're so excited for that. I circulated some pictures to you guys to see the plans for that. We're going to share that out with the community over the next week or so, and we'll have some pictures at open house so they can see the design for that. We are hopeful that it'll be ready to go and open by mid to late October. Not great timing with the start of the school year, but it'll be worth it in the end, so we're getting there.
All right. So I'm filling in for Mr. Murphy. I hope I can do him proud tonight. So we are opening the school year at North with about 60-ish kindergarten students. We actually just got a new one today, so I'm going to say around 60. We'll have a total of 513 pre-K through grade 6 students once all registrations are finalized. For our custodial team highlights, every area of the building has been stripped and waxed, and the floors look fantastic. Classroom painting is nearly complete. We got rid of some of the Pepto-Bismol pink in some of the classrooms and a more neutral color. Classroom and office spaces are being reassembled according to the June layout maps that we provided the custodians, and teachers have started to come in over the last couple of weeks to start setting up their spaces. Our landscaping, general repairs, and exterior beautification projects have also been done by the custodians, so we owe a big thank you to Bob, Paul, and Ryan for all their work. And appreciation also goes to Elise in the office for her dedication in preparing for the new school year. We've had some facility upgrades this summer. We have 6 new water bottle filling stations that have been installed and are ready to use around the school. And a lighting project is underway that will be done by the time the students start next Wednesday. Electricians are replacing classroom fixtures with energy efficient LED lighting. And then staff setting up early might see the workers in some of their spaces, but it's going to be totally worth it. And the teachers are excited to get the new much needed lighting upgrade, and all the balusters will work and everything will be nice, shiny, and bright in the classrooms once they're done. We hosted our new family tour last Wednesday, and it was very well attended and full of energy. It was great meeting our newest students and their families, and they were all very excited. We do have 1 new staff member this year. We're excited to welcome Miss Marissa Hennessy, who brings experience from both public school and private school. She is going to be our PE teacher. She is super enthusiastic about joining our team and looks forward to meeting everyone. And that's North Sundays.
Hi, everybody. High school is also looking forward to welcoming students next week. We've got 681 students coming in, including 161 freshmen tomorrow, which is our annual freshman orientation at 8 a.m. We anticipate that being over at about 11, maybe 11:30, but usually sometime in that window is when we wrap things up there. As you know, the high school has not yet released its student schedules. We anticipate doing that tomorrow morning at some point. Tonight's conversation will certainly be what we're waiting for that to happen. We have schedules built for a variety of scenarios, so whatever happens tonight, we are ready to go with them. We had about 300 students, or currently have about 300 students right now, who've already begun their school year with fall sport tryouts. So there are about 318 kids trying out for our 9 sports. That does include a handful of middle school students, so that's exciting as well. We also had about 80 students earlier in August for our band camp. The athletes lucked out. They had got tremendous weather. This is beautiful weather to be outside. The band camp was really hot. It was that really hot week in August. Those poor kids were working hard out there. So really think about that though. It's, we've got 681 kids coming into school the first day of school, and almost 400 of them have already been here doing something. It just speaks to how committed and how involved our student body is, and our faculty for that matter. And so, that's one of the best parts of the fall is just walking outside and listening to the music for the marching band or the whistles of the athletic coaches blowing. So that's all in full force. We have had some hiring, right? Despite some of the freeze that's happening here. One of the students we hired to teach science full-time was actually a long-term sub for us last year. We're very lucky to bring Allie Leslie aboard in the middle of the year to find a qualified teacher to not only teach biology, but AP biology. If you recall, we were able to bring Leslie aboard in March, late February, early March. And she was a real rock star. I'll talk about our AP scores in a little bit, and Mary Beth will talk about them later on in the fall. But her AP scores were incredible. So in a short period of time, she made a really big impact. So she's been hired as a full-time teacher based on her performance for us last spring. Devin Martin, we hired as a guidance counselor. So she was in this week, and she has hit the ground running. She comes to us with experience in all sorts of elements of the guidance counselor's role. So that's good. Really, this week we've learned that she's really good at Power School, and that's important when it comes to navigating Power School and student schedules. And she'll be busy tomorrow. It's probably a busy day for her. Right? She'll have her eyes wide open. We've also offered a a Spanish position to Lita Armstrong. She has accepted in principle. It's pending boarding, is that we call that? Now, is it? Onboarding. So that's a .4 Spanish teaching position. So we have the candidate identified, and we're just working through those final steps. So that's exciting news. We also have some new courses running next year, and so with that came the appropriate training this summer for many of our staff members. It's the third wave of our 2 Project Lead the Way pathways. So the Computer Integrated Manufacturing course in the engineering pathway is rolling out this year. Charlie Morris went some training this year for that this summer. And our medical interventions, which is the third leg of the Project Lead the Way for the biomedical science. Katie George had some training for that this summer. So we're excited about finally reaching, that point in our pathway programs. We have a number of music electives. Our rock band course starts this year for the first time. I can't wait to walk through that class and see what's happening there. Music technology is an elective that's running in the music department as well. I don't think that Austin went out for much training for that. I think he can do those courses with his eyes closed. And then we have our 2 new AP courses, right? We're offering AP Seminar now for the first time as a 10th grade English option for our sophomores and as an elective option for our seniors. And the same thing with AP Pre-Calculus. Juniors mostly, but a handful of sophomores certainly are taking that course this year for the first time. And those teachers, Hillary Niffin and Abby Walsh, respectively, went out for the training this summer on those courses. And so just speaking of our AP scores, I just want to take a moment to really brag about really what's happening with our AP programs in the past 5 years. If you look at the numbers of our 5-year trend, everything is pointing up. This year, even though our enrollment is dwindling, every school in the South Shore, our enrollment is dwindling. We had 236 students take 465 exams. That's up from every year, the 4 years prior, even though we had, in some cases, 70 or 80 more kids in the building. So that those numbers just keep going up. And it's not just that they're taking the courses, right? 81% of those 263 kids, 236 kids, 81% of them scored at least one qualifying score. 81%. 5 years ago, that was 69%. And so over the course of the past 5 years, it's just been this incremental increase, and it keeps going. And what's so impressive is, as you all know, once you achieve a certain amount, the percentage of increase you can squeeze out of the tube of toothpaste, it diminishes, right? But yet, last year, for example, 74% of our kids earned a qualifying score. This year went to 81%. So again, enrollment is dwindling proportionately with the rest of the state, no doubt, but yet our performance in those high stakes exams and our highest achieving students are just killing it.
That's
And
fantastic.
I think sometimes I don't want to say we miss it, because we don't. We're always focusing on all of our students. We put a lot of time and effort into all levels of student achievement. But when the best of our best, when the best of our bright continue to perform well, I just think that's worth celebrating. The staff is working really hard, and so are the students and their families. So I'm really looking forward to what happens next year with the 2 new AP courses, 3 if you count AP Physics 1. I'm looking forward to seeing that growth continue. It'll be a challenge, but I'm looking forward to it. And then I just think one of our most prominent school-wide goals, and certainly part of my professional practice goal and student learning goal, and part of it will be on the school improvement plan. There are 2 members of the school council here, and so we've got a couple of achievement goals. One of them will be to continue to grow some of the applied learning philosophy that we have already started with our Project Lead the Way courses, right? And so we've done a lot of work through, in conjunction with the 1-8 Foundation. Mary Beth, Jonathan Shapiro, Mark Gallagher, and I went to Denver this past school year, looking at some schools that are really fully adopting the applied learning kind of strategies. We toured several schools in the state of Massachusetts. And so in addition to those Project Lead the Way courses, we want to kind of embed those tenets in our other courses that aren't necessarily Project Lead the Way. And not only that, but I think if you look at the 5 tenets of the applied learning, they really do align with our vision of our graduate, right? And so I think that we want to continue that work as well. The vision of the graduate, to me, is embedded in what we do. Our kids can talk about it relatively intelligently. They certainly know what it is, for sure. It is embedded in our curriculum documents, but what I was really happy to see, and we created our vision of the graduate really separately from the 1-8 stuff. We weren't doing it together. And our finished product really aligns with those, our 4 pillars align with those 5 tenets of applied learning. They talk about pairing content with soft skills, and some of those soft skills, obviously collaboration and communication. Those are the soft skills that they're talking about. One of the tenets is prioritizing collaboration and communication, requiring persistence. Our vision of our graduates talks about as an empowered learner, understanding that learning takes hard work, and hard work obviously isn't easy, and failure is part of that, and being able to just, have a different iteration, try again, right? Persist through that. So the connections are there, no doubt, and I'm looking forward to trying to move the needle across the curriculum, not just in those Project Lead the Way courses. So that'll be a big goal for us this year, and I would imagine in the next coming years. Yeah, it's good stuff.
I'll start down here. Do you have any questions for any of the principals?
I was wondering, the writing curriculum, I missed the name of it. The one
Simplified writing.
Simplify writing. Okay, awesome. And then I was just wondering, with for high school, the applied learning, is that at all similar in some ways to like IB, or is it not exactly? It's
I'll let
different.
Mary Beth take that one.
Not really.
Not really.
Some of this, I mean, in any good learning system, some of the things are the same, like relevance, rigor, but this applied learning really has to do with making curriculum something that is essential to what you want to do with your learning. So there's a lot of choice involved in it, and a lot of hands-on kind of application of the work too.
Okay.
IB
great.
has some of that too, but it's
Gotcha.
a little different.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you. That's it.
Okay. Sue, you have a question?
Yeah, so first of all, I love all the enthusiasm. I'm excited for the school year. You guys have done a lot of work, and I appreciate everything that you do. So I think the whole town does. So, and then huge shout out to the marching band, because their performance was unbelievable. Every year they just outdo themselves. So I just wanted to give a shout out to the band, because they're amazing. And I don't really have any questions, but the AP, I'm excited about the AP scores. I think that says a lot. That's it shows, how well the kids are doing as a result of the teaching. So I'm really excited about that. I know for AP courses, I have, 3 kids who graduated from Pembroke High School, all of whom took AP courses and got college credit. One of them graduated in 3 years because of it. It's such an amazing thing that we do for our kids, and I just want to say great job. I'm excited. It's going to be a good year. I don't have any questions, but I appreciate the update. As a Hopmock parent, I'm excited to see that library. I can't wait.
It's a big space.
Yes,
It's awesome. The question I have is probably going to end up being for Mary Beth. Is there DART comparisons for AP scores? Can we see how we fare? And maybe, I don't know, look over the 5 years or something like that? I'd be curious
It's all
to
public,
see.
yeah, but we
Okay.
can pull some of that
Yeah, I'd be
data when we
curious
do
just
the
to see
achievement report, yeah.
Kind of how we compare.
Yep.
Even, I know we have a lot of AP offerings, and even knowing that we offer, 22? How many do we have?
That sounds about right now with the new additions, yeah.
Yeah, 22, give or
I'd say
take.
20 or 21, yeah.
And for
Yeah.
having,
Depending on what runs, yeah.
how many students do you say? 681 students. That's a pretty impressive number.
It's absolutely. Yes, especially with the resources.
Yeah,
that are
absolutely.
limited.
And the fact that
60% of this year class has graduated, took at least one AP course
Yeah, that's-
in their time.
Yeah, I'd be kind of curious how that fares compared
So,
to.
when we started really delving into the AP, and, we have an open enrollment policy as well at Pembroke High School, our goal initially, which was probably back in, I don't know, it's embarrassing to say, maybe 2008, was we were hoping to get to 80% of our students at, taking at least one AP course in the time that they're at the high school, just so that they have exposure to that kind of textbook and to that level of instruction, not necessarily because we're pushing hard for those scores, but just the exposure itself is really important for students. And I think that we're accomplishing that in a couple of different ways. Obviously, changing the AP, offerings is great, but the Project Lead the Way work is also at a very high level of curriculum, and they're looking at ways to give that some sort of college credit too. It hasn't happened yet, but they're going in that direction. So I would say overall, we're really fortunate to have built a culture that is really embracing some of this rigorous coursework.
Yeah, well, it says something too when you have that many students trying it, but then we also have, this growing pathways program. Like to have the different avenues available to the students for, again, being a small school. Do we have the enrollment number at Bryanttville?
I was waiting.
Okay, so
I'm the only one. It actually is 400.
Wow. Okay.
400 on the dot.
Cool.
Today. Because someone moved in today.
Oh, look at that.
Okay, very good. I think that's all. Thank you. I don't know if we can let them go home.
You guys can go home if you want to go home.
Or you're welcome to stay.
Physics in a minute, but the rest of you can go home.
I'm in.
That's an awesome update.
Don't all run out once you're good.
It's-
Okay.
So under my report, you all have in your packet a copy of our personnel report. It really mirrors kind of what you heard each of the building principals say. There, obviously, we're just a few days out from the start of school. As Ashley mentioned, she is in the process of filling that kindergarten position, and we have one other special education position at the high school that we're working through. There's a licensure issue there, but we're working with the staff member, and it will hopefully be resolved, if not by the first day of school, within that first week. So.
And then update on the budget freeze.
Yep, so when we met at your second meeting in June, we had the conversation about freezing some of our open positions for fiscal year 26 in anticipation of some of the collective bargaining that has been going on over the course of the summer. We talked about identifying positions that would have a minimal impact, but still an impact on the programmatic offerings as well as class sizes across the district. That we went through the list of positions that evening. They are mostly at Pembroke High School. So there's a science position at the high school, a long-term sub position in the English department, a .4 business teacher. I think that's it.
0.6 Latin.
And the .6 Latin. As well as the director of counseling, the coordinator of counseling that would kind of be shared K through 12. We froze the math interventionist at the elementary level. We froze the behavioral program that we talked extensively about in the spring. And in addition to that, we did reduce the library paraprofessionals at the elementary level and the librarian at the high school. At this point, we are not in a position to unfreeze any of those positions. I've had a lot of conversations with Mark in regards to the schedule and class sizes at the high school. They're comfortable class sizes. Obviously, with an additional science and English teacher, they would be 2 to 3 students lower depending upon the course. But at this point, we're not in a position where we have any, we're not any closer to what the financial liability associated with our collective bargaining agreements is going to be. So I am recommending that we kind of hold the course for right now. It doesn't mean that that might not change as we get into September and October. I recognize that adding staff at that time is very difficult. There are some positions like the clerical paras at the elementary schools that we could easily add back at any point over the school year. Our elementary principals have done a wonderful job creating a specialist schedule without a stream para, but it would be great to still have a stream para. So there's some adjustments we can make even after the school year starts, but we are not in a position at this point to be able to financially say with certainty that we could unfreeze.
How many students are potentially have, you mentioned that there's kind of versions of schedules. How many kids are kind of in that limbo of it? I don't know.
So there's not kids necessarily that are in limbo, but the class sizes would change, right?
Okay.
So the long-term sub for English, if we were to add 5 more teaching sections in that department, a course that's currently running at 25 would be running at 22.
Okay.
There are a couple of students whose electives have shifted a little because of the freeze, right, with the business teacher. But I think you've
And
been,
science and English.
Yeah, you've been
There are
slowly
fewer sections
placing them
allowed.
according to their preferences where we can. There are
Correct.
students that didn't get their first choice, but we were able to make a second or third.
So what size is our largest class going to be at the high school, approximately?
I mean,
Like
one class could be at 28, but that's nowhere near the average, right? So some of the elective courses we're talking about,
Yeah.
because there are few offerings of, say, business communication or forensic science, or they're in the high 20s. There's a phys ed class just going through it that has 30. It's not uncommon, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, the music classes, the band classes can get that big. They've not been impacted by the freeze, those subjects, so that's what it is, you know. But in English and in science and in history, because we have fewer English electives to offer, those students are being placed in an elective that's in the history department. So those numbers are going up in those classrooms.
Are we seeing, because I know we shifted where the requirement's going to add the art section, are we seeing an increase in filling those seats?
In art?
Like, well, like, or in any of the.
With the change in the graduation
Yeah, with the
requirement.
change in the graduation requirement. Like,
I'm not seeing a huge increase because of that
Yeah.
reason. I'm seeing maybe an increase because, again, we're putting kids in an elective they may not have chosen.
Yeah.
You know, but I also feel okay with that because it's a grad requirement anyways. You've got to do
Yeah.
it.
So at
So
some
let's
point.
do it now, right? So I think that, you know, having sat in on those scheduling seminars back in March, I filled in to help out during those seminars. A lot of the kids are saying, you know, okay, it's a half a year, so I don't need to do that next year. So I'll do that later on in the case, right? So that's okay.
Okay, thank you.
Question, I know that one piece with the library was being able to have the library available for like study, or not, maybe not study, but like to go check out books and different things like that. Do you have a plan for that? Do you need volunteers?
Oh, I would always take volunteers, but that's, you know, up to.
So it's pretty, it's defined a little bit better at the elementary level because they did have a bit of that this year with the one trimester
Totally,
of stream in each building. But the libraries are still open, teachers are still taking classes here, students still have an opportunity over the course of the week to check out books. We do need to do a little bit of work at the high school as far as the library is a place where kids generally go during a study, and without a staff member or a librarian in there, we do have to think a little bit more creatively about how we would cover that so that it can still be an option for kids over the course of the year.
Yeah, I think that was the piece I was more so.
I hear you
identifying.
volunteering is fine.
Yes, I can, as long as I'm like working from home, I could definitely come and volunteer and work from home in the library.
Wait till 7 kids ask you to go to the bathroom and you don't know what to do.
I'm like, I'm not here. Just kidding.
But we still anticipate our teaching staff bringing their classes in there, using
Yeah.
the resources. We do have some programming for our staff in terms of, you know, checking books out or how we're accessing this database. We
Right.
still have access to that, to those things. So it's just a matter of, you know, just increasing everyone's capacity to be able to handle that. And
Yeah.
because we want our kids to still be able to access it, just maybe in a different way than they have in the past.
Got it. Okay, thanks.
Good. The last thing under my report is an update on AP Physics. So we met on August 5th. We talked about a change to the program of studies, shifting from AP Physics C Mechanics to AP Physics 1. At that meeting, we talked about following up with each of the 13 families of the students that had enrolled during enrollment in March in AP Physics C. Mary Beth is going to give you kind of an update on where those conversations are and the timeline for students to make decisions.
Yep, so we communicated with families yesterday. Actually, Mark and Jonathan Shapiro, our STEM director, did that work, and they're waiting to hear back from families about what they would like to do. We have been able to get seats through Mass College of Pharmacy for AP Physics C, so we should be able to offer an online dual enrollment option to any of our students that are committed to the AP Physics C. We will still go forward and offer the AP Physics 1 for those students that would like that option as well. And this is also having a ripple effect on our honors physics classes. So our next step after we determine what our AP Physics formerly C students want to do will be to take a look at who is enrolled. We have 31 students enrolled in honors physics, and we foresee being able to open up AP Physics 1 to some of those students as well. So again, it's a little bit of a, you know, patience game. We have to do one thing at a time, but as soon as we work our way through our AP Physics C original group, we will start working on our honors physics groups as well. So hopefully we will be able to support all students and the students that want to challenge themselves out of the honors group and try the AP physics. That would be something that we would support if it's possible in terms of the resources that we have. So we're going to try.
Awesome. That's great.
So, what if they all want to AP physics? Because it's essentially the same course, right?
Very similar, yeah, it's very similar. So there's a potential for that to happen, but I can't commit to anything right now. So
Right.
we have to work it through with the numbers, and we also have to obviously have a conversation with the instructor, and we have to
And
all.
scheduling, right?
And the
So there's-
scheduling is the biggest piece of it. But if those honors classes flip to AP, would we be able then, for the students that don't want AP, we want to be able to be sure that we're meeting their needs too. So there's a lot of balancing that has to happen in the next couple of days. Mark's taking his glasses off going, oh gosh, here we go again. But we will be looking at each of those options for students to make sure that we are supporting them. And if we have a class that is a good fit for them, we want to be able to give them that option.
Yeah, I mean, I did a bunch of research on it and talked to some people about it because I was concerned, but really the main kids that would, who may hurt from not having physics C are like the people in the engineering pathways. Because if you're going to school for physics, you have to retake it all
Retake it
anyways.
there anyways,
So
right.
it doesn't even matter. And, but physics 1 and honors are like essentially the same. That was my big question for the night, so I'm glad
Yeah.
you already answered it, so. It's great. And then next year, would we offer physics C ideally, or?
So there are two, I mean, I would say yes, we'd like to offer Physics C. The pools are very limited. I have to keep coming back to that the resources are limited in terms of personnel for AP Physics C. So yes, that would be a goal, and we would be hopeful that we would find somebody that would be able and or willing to do the training to come to that point. So we are hoping to have AP Physics C back in the program of studies. It's not left, it's just not running this year, so we still have the course. But it will certainly depend on the resources, and it really sometimes also depends on enrollment and who's signing up for things. These things go in waves with classes, so sometimes you have classes that are super high functioning STEM, like let's go, and then sometimes you don't have as much interest. So it will sort of depend on the group that we have as well.
Yeah.
But yes, AP Physics C, we recognize the need for that for our kids that are doing that engineering pathway or that want to explore that as a career option.
Yeah, I think one of the things I know we've talked about also is, depending on the class size, like it's not always 100% worth it if we have a really tiny class. So thinking about balancing the resources that we're putting out for the options that we're giving is just
Right.
something that's part of the conversation. I'm glad we're able to do it this year, but I think we also have to make sure we're strategic in terms of the resources we're using, that it's benefiting all of our students holistically.
We're offering an awful lot of AP courses right now,
Yeah.
and many of them are singletons, which creates scheduling conflicts all over the place. So trying to make that work for everybody is a Sudoku puzzle, and I give Mark in particular a ton of credit. He really, with the guidance department, does a lot to make sure kids are getting what they want. But it is reality that some courses are running at the same time. We can't clone people, so
Yeah.
it's a bit of a struggle at times.
I just thought of one last question, like the kids that are taking the AP Physics C through Mass College of Pharmacy, are they is it like during a study, or is it?
Well, they're already assigned to a class, so they will.
Oh, during that makes sense.
Yeah, and if not, it would be during a study, but yes.
Yeah, that
It's an
makes
asynchronous class. It's a little bit different than the way they would, take their physics class at the high school. It's a 16-week class, so it's a little bit different. But we've had students succeed with those courses before, and if that's something that they're committed to, I'm sure that they can do that work.
I just want to add up to that, because the plan is to still run AP Physics 1, that is the class. And so if a kid wants to take the Mass College of Pharmacy, it would come out of a study hall. They could not do it in that class period because we're teaching one that period.
Right,
So,
right, that makes sense.
But it would be the way we handle multivariable calculus, right? They do that on their own, not in a study hall. And then it's a class, it's a math class, but it's a big study hall.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
So next is subcommittee updates. We've had a lot of meetings in the past 2 weeks since we've met last. So the negotiations subcommittee met with the Pembroke Teachers Association both on August 7th and August 14th. So we are continuing to make progress as we work through this, but we are negotiating 4 contracts, so that takes time. And there is, it has been a few years since we've done full agreements. So it's been about 5 years since we last negotiated. We had a couple of 1 years, the years of COVID, so there's a lot of language pieces that both sides have interest in looking at. So it does take some time, but we have a handful of days scheduled in September going into October, and I'm optimistic that we will be close to getting to a point of agreement as we kind of get into the beginning of October. We meet again on September 3rd, so when the committee meets, we'll give another update just on progress there. The vocational planning subcommittee met, I feel like I've done it 100 times, but we met a few weeks back just to kind of talk about a plan for educating the public regarding the town meeting votes for both the fall and the spring. We had our first vocational information session last Tuesday night at the community center. We had about 30 folks that joined us. I gave a short 15-minute slide presentation. You can find it on our website under the vocational tab. And then there was about 30 minutes of question and answer. I think all of the questions were great. There was a lot of really good energy in the room, both from parents of current students, parents of former students, grandparents, parents of elementary students. There was a wide range of age, as well as not just parents, but community members that have an interest in kind of where we're going with that. So it was great to see that many people. As I said before, we've done information sessions where nobody comes, so it's good to see people coming out. We're going to put out a schedule after the first week of school of some additional opportunities for folks to come and hear the same presentation and ask questions. In addition to that, the Chamber is holding a workforce forum on September 25th at 6 o'clock at the library, so I will be there along with a few other folks, including Tom Hickey from South Shore Tech, and a few other people to kind of give a short presentation and answer questions just ahead of town meeting.
I'd just like to add, too, there were a lot of new faces I noticed at the meeting, so I thought that was really good that we got questions from people we hadn't heard from before, so. Yes.
And will that one, the September 25th, be recorded?
That'll be recorded, and then
That was a
our
question I
next
saw.
information session that week after the first week of school, we'll also have recorded as well. So. Education Subcommittee met just last night. We started our conversation about competency determination. So if you've been following along with the story, a lot has changed in a little amount of time, and districts are being asked to articulate exactly what competency determination and mastery within their school system looks like. As you can imagine, there aren't a ton of samples out there just yet, but we did start our conversation just this past Monday about where we're looking at it, where we see some areas that we would need to kind of refer over to policy sub to start talking about what that would look like for a written policy for us. I think when we met last night, I think I said October 31st was the deadline, but they've pushed it out to December now. So we do have a little bit more time. Mary Beth and I were joking this morning because following our meeting last night, the listserv has been on fire today of other people talking about it. So we're hearing that Cohasset has a sample policy out there, so we will share what we have for resources as we kind of work through that.
And which graduating class are they asking us to start?
This one.
This one.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
The class of basics.
Not much time.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
Do it
And
immediately.
the good thing is that a lot of the pieces are already in
there.
place,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
So
Yes.
it's really just about kind of hammering it in black and white and putting in our program of studies and our handbooks and in a policy. So, budget subcommittee is going to meet. We were supposed to meet today, but I forgot to post it. So if we don't post it, we can't meet. But budget subcommittee will meet hopefully next week to start talking about if there were to be operational override for the town of Pembroke in the spring of 2026, what would our priorities here for the schools be? So we are starting that work administratively through our strategic leadership team this week, and I'll share that feedback with the budget subcommittee. Obviously, this is a conversation larger than just the school department. It is all of the town departments, but we feel really passionately about the conversation being transparent, allowing the community, allowing parents to be a part of it from the beginning, and really allotting the right amount of time. So if we're not starting to talk about it now, asking people to vote on something like that in the spring is not enough time. So though other departments are not necessarily talking about it yet, we feel really, really confident about starting the conversations now. So.
Thank you. Future meeting dates and topics, I think we've already set September.
I think you are the 2nd and the 16th.
Yeah, so September
Yeah, we wanted to keep it the same, like
Yeah.
first and third.
Yep. Why am I looking at August? It's not- Yeah, so September 2nd and 6 o'clock. And then September 15th? 16th.
Okay.
Yep. Okay. Do anybody has any topics in particular?
I guess just like a general update about how things are going, like the start of school, but not like
Yeah.
necessarily all of you need to come. I'm not saying that.
That would be so fun.
Um,
Do that again.
Just you, yeah, some sort of update about
Yeah,
how
we'll give
things
a
are
little
going.
update about transportation and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So, sure.
Okay. Thank you so much. Can I have a motion to enter executive session pursuant to Chapter 30A, Section 21A, 3, to discuss strategy related to collective bargaining as an open meeting may have a detrimental effect on the legal position of the school committee as declared by the chair?
So moved.
And it's roll call, I think. Katrina Garciotti?
Yes.
Sue? Yes.
Yes.
Okay, it's unanimous. We are in executive session. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.